You know, the Pantanal was interesting for me because it reminded me of being in the Okavango Delta. You know, so I'm South African and I grew up knowing about the Okavango Delta, but it's a place which is incredibly expensive to visit because it's difficult logistically. You need boats, you need many things to get around. And it's the same in the Pantanal, you know. So for me, it's a unique place to go to. It's, I know about the Pantanal because of the photographers from National Geographic who have spent months there. Okay, but when they did those jobs, they were very expensive. So it was never a place that I expected to be able to go to. You know, so when the Yves Rousset Foundation said, "Okay, we will give you the money to go," for me this is a great privilege. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it's the blessing of photojournalism. You really to be able to go to places that you never expected to be able to see. The Pantanal is like this. It's a magical place, and it's magical because of the patterns of nature. Even, you know, given the influence of farming and big agriculture and cattle ranching and all of those things, the Pantanal remains a unique place because of nature. Half of the year the place is flooded. You cannot farm. You cannot do certain things. So nature has found a way of asserting herself in the Pantanal in such a way that guarantees that it will have a future. But politics in Brazil have been complicated. You know, with Bolsonaro pushing an agricultural agenda, it was very threatened. And then, you know, we saw a government response in 2020 to the fires, which is really, it's an act of neglect. You know, the first troops arrived in the Pantanal 3 months after the big fires started. So really, they left the Pantaneros alone to sort out those things for themselves. So what you see in the Pantanal is the resilience not only of nature, but of the Pantaneros, you know, and despite the fact that there is human-animal conflict with the jaguars and the cattle ranchers, many of those people have learned how to work with that and to live with that and to value the animal too. So there's a lot to be learned in the Pantanal. You know, it's the blessing of my job to be able to go to places like this. So I was worried a lot because I needed to make useful pictures. And the agenda was to see the recovery of the Pantanal after the fires. But the Pantanal has recovered so strongly that you don't see evidence of the fires. I saw only one burnt tree. And thankfully, a young female jaguar came around the tree and posed for me, which was incredible because it is the combination of the potential of the nature combined with the strength of the recovery of the ecosystem. And that's what you see in the Pantanal. So I found out recently that the work that I did is also going to be exhibited in Paris at a gallery that's dedicated to Franz Krashberg. I know that I am killing the name, but my understanding of this man is that he was a strong advocate for the Amazon. He was a strong advocate for places like the Pantanal. He was the first person to really start talking journalistically about you know, what fires can mean, the fact that we really need to be careful of those things to preserve these spaces. So for me, you know, to be able to exhibit in those kinds of spaces, you are continuing the work of this pioneering person. And I think it's a worthwhile thing to do, you know. So for me, it's an unexpected bonus, but I'm very happy to exhibit there.